Welcome back to Wickerson Studios. I've been busy today, but I haven't been posting every single script that I've been working on. This is the one-liners for Python using the ghPython remote node that you can download and actually install, which is actually really good for working in NumPy. So this whole series, which is huge, is the intermediate, the basic intermediate, and the full intermediate sections that I'm working on. So even though I did this one earlier today, it was a problem I ran into with the error tool. I ran into a little bit of problems here that I couldn't get the function, I guess the method or the attribute, or where is it? The D type and the data type, and especially the AS type, assigning the type was not working in Python in Grasshopper. So I put in a video of that, but that's not what I want to dwell on. What I dwell on is all the other stuff that I missed today because I've just been plugging away. And right after I finished up the last series on broadcasting is TheAxis converting low dimensional arrays into higher dimensional arrays before element wise operations. I then learned about homogeneous values of the NumPy arrays all have the same type, but I'm having trouble with the assigning type in array types in Grasshopper. I'm not sure why. I'm hoping somebody can help me out. It might be just something with the program and it just doesn't work that way, but I've shown a few examples of that. The homogeneous values, I used some examples here, so I went in and I'm just going to do this real quick. You can see in the script as I plug through it, I brought in how I can run NumPy. I think I'll have to change this because I'm running into little problems with other libraries, so I don't really understand the script context sticky, but it seems to work with the NumPy as a string, and then I can use that as NumPy. But you can see that I can change the data type here fine. Anytime I'm using integers that I believe floats, it's no problem working and changing the data type. But that starts to get tricky as we go down. Homogeneous values, examples, slicing, broadcasting, and array types. Once again, it's working fine as long as I have integers, and here's an example of the next script. Keep in mind, I'm pushing my Reddit now. I have all these up on repositories. I'm pushing all my video series on YouTube and the Reddit, and I'm hoping to get some more Patreons just to get access to the user objects, the Wickerson Studio user objects, and make this worth my while a little more. But I actually am enjoying it because I'm learning just a ton about data science. This whole middle section is data science. I don't know where I'm going to go with machine learning, and certainly the algorithms that come later are very exciting. So the solution using slicing and slice assignment, there's an example here that I just played with a little bit, the peasants, and I don't know what I'm relating to, their pay or something. I can't remember their daily wage, according to the Pope, the Cardinal, the fisherman, and the peasant. And you get into slicing arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, which is really nice. And like I said, my data type is still working and it's still outputting. I'm not going to break these down because they're pretty self-explanatory. And what I'm starting to do is write a lot more of the script out of the book directly into, I'm not sure where I just stuck my face, but it's somewhere around there now, probably blocking something. Where did that? I'll try and keep my face out of the picture here, but we're probably going to lose it a little bit with the Python, but it seems to work down here in the output section. This section is dealing with conditional array searching, filtering, and broadcasting to detect outliers. It's getting pretty exciting as you get through here. Finding outliers in the array sets, finding elements in the NumPy array that meet certain conditions. So you're basically working conditions, and I like this because the non-zero array will find anything that is not zero. And in doing so, that will operate, use another great Boolean feature of the array, Boolean array operators. So you can start doing things like it does x equal 2 and then output anything in here that equals 2. And you can see that it's true wherever the spot in this array 1 0 0 0 2 2 3 0 0, where that is. False, 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 true, true, false, false, false. So really easy stuff and just a lot of it. Okay, conditional array search, filtering, and broadcasting to detect outliers. Example. I like to talk quick. I don't really have to. I'm not that nervous. But it is kind of fun to just play through this. Another one, bringing it in here. I played with dependencies, ages of people. Here are my family, Mike, Beth, Oscar, and Ella. Sorry, Max, she didn't get in there. But you see this nice one-liner here. You find out who's older by setting, and setting gets rid of all the duplicates. And you find out that really plays a role in this because you don't want to get all the ages that are or younger or older from Mike, because actually, you know, getting different ages at different times. So you find the average of that, and you find out if the average ever averages above that. And if Oscar actually was 31 years old, you'd see he actually would be included in that and would change all the averages. Not to spend a lot of time explaining it. It's all here. if you want to follow along and grab hold of some of these things, it's not too hard to think about. Before we ran into that error today, I definitely was doing Boolean indexing and filtering two-dimensional arrays. And here was an example of it right here. Just pull this down. I wish it's sized the same. I wish I could preset the size. I probably could. So there's the array I'm playing with. The indices are coming up as another one, and this will bring together this data and produce any arrays. Let's see what happens. If indices ij are true, and there they are, true, 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 it will say which ones those are, which is indices 0, on actually it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3, 7, and 8. You don't have to start counting 0 for this because you're actually counting the indices of where these things exist within here. So very nice little system of figuring that out. I thought that was pretty nice. And then wherever they're true, you can find that as well. What else did I wrote here? Else it does not. Yeah, okay. It will input the aij value if it's true, and if not, it just doesn't do anything to the indices. So nice little example. I'll let you look into it. Then I ran into my problem, which I tried to put a video out on, but broadcasting slice assignment and reshaping to clean every ith array element. Another amazing one here. We'll try and jump into here and not make it too complex. Here it is. Actually, I don't want to have it all squeezed off. Let's put it there. And as we go in, you're going to clean and eliminate erroneous data points and slice the assignment. So here it is. You're starting to use the operators, and I'm printing all 4s. But this is nice. If you started at 1 using slicing and went to went all the way to the end, then it would start at 1, and the rest would be the digit 42 or whatever you end up changing it into. So change it to 55 and test it. It's going to go all to 55 here. And then the next one, which is kind of nice here, 2 is okay, that's the first one. That's the second one. The third one's nice because you've got them all set and it's playing off the last A value, whatever was there. And then you're starting at 1, going to 8, and skipping every other one, turning it to 16. So 4, 16, 55, 16, 55, 16, 55, 16, 55, all the way through it. It stops at 8 and then 55 through the remainder of that. And then here's a nice example here, and I'll just have to pull it out a little bit. Learn to use the function xReshape, which is really nice. And you'll learn this little example that if it's a negative number and doesn't make any sense, it'll figure it out for you, the size of columns, if you dictate how many rows you want. So if you have a string, a list here or an array here, and you want it 2 by something, you could calculate it 6 and say, okay, 2 by 3, but you just leave it as -1 and it'll reshape it right to the same thing as well. So 2 nice examples of that. Very exciting stuff. And then here's the last 2 I've been on to is this axis argument, which is actually a pretty cool thing. It just exists out of nowhere. I'm not really where it came. I don't know where it came from. There's not too much that I looked into it, but I liked it because you can go in, put down an array, make it come out as 2 arrays within 1, and then I've got these 2 stocks that I'm playing off. What did I do? Calculate the average of the 3 different times. Okay, and the times are early, mid, and late. What are they going to be at these different times? And if they're going to be 1, 2, and 3, and 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, that will average and give you each one of those at early, mid, and late. And there they are. Averages out. And it uses this axis 0 because that's what axis it's on. If I change it to 1, it's not going to work because that would be actually, it might work as a column. I'm not sure what it would do. Yeah, it would just give me 1. It would come down the column. Average of 1 to 1, 2. And actually, it puts it into a. It's interesting that happens. I'll just have to think about that a little bit because I'm running down the other way in the axis. But this makes a lot more sense because it's running the average of those numbers. In this direction, the other one was going in this direction, which actually makes total sense. 2 and 3. At least I think that's what it was. I was thinking vertical and horizontal when I should have been thinking horizontal and vertical. And it's interesting that it puts it over to a float as well. Anyway, I think I'll just keep that. I probably should put a little toggle on there and have it go from 0 to 1 so I could switch it in each direction. Anyway, I'm kind of coming back to these things. And then the last one I'm working on is right here. Actually, it's not the last one. It's the last one I figured out. It was an example of working with the TheAxis Assignment. And what did I make? A little exercise out of it. I think I took the one right out of the book for this one, which was the temperature. You have 7 days a week, and you want to average on the 7th day, the average of all 7 days, including the first one. You want it to go by 7, so you're going to set the column so it can average the what it needs to do for the rows. And that's pretty easy because this is just one big list and it has 21 elements. So you can actually think of this list being written this way, and then you're asking it to do a little more. And this probably is more appropriate for showing what the reshaping does. And there it is. And if I reshape that, you can see that it throws it into that form from the original, which is nice because you want 7. So it's going to go 7 That's really nice that would do that data for you. I'm not sure if it doesn't come out as an even number like 7 and then you get 20. I'm not sure what it would end up doing. I guess I could play with that, see what happens if I take off one of these. What would be the problem? No, it would fault out for sure because it can't make an array. It can't just spontaneously give you something because it doesn't know what data is going to be there. So there's the reshaping, and then it says just play with the reshaping and reshape in the X direction, in the 0 direction, and reshape in the 1 direction. I think this would be interesting to go to the 0 now and print that in that way. And there you go. You did the average coming down the other way. But get in here, figure it out, wrap your head around it. The Axis assignment, get into your slicing, figure out what's going on. That's the real trick. And then I guess where I'm going now is I figured I was too tired of going back and grabbing my base script. I am going to think about this a little bit. That obviously I have something weird going on with sc.sticky and then using the string numpy. That's probably why my other libraries aren't working when I'm trying to bring them through the remote node. And that's just something I'm working on as I get into this. I'm sure I'll get closer to it in the end. Let's go here and see where that's happening. Over here, whenever I try and bring in another module besides numpy, this one's working sticky with numpy, but it's not really. It's pumping out the module numpy, but it's not pumping out the other one when I put it in scikit, learn, and things like that. So I'll figure it out. And now I guess I'm on to sorting in numpy strings, which is fun. I'm just starting with that script. I just wanted to catch you guys all up on it. Talking fast. Remember, these will be master scripts. And there's a lot of information in here. And I'm writing in more and more. And I think I'll do less and less of this breakdown of the individual ones. If you have questions, you can contact me on Patreon. You look into the GitHub. You probably get the book yourself. It's not too hard to make sense of what I'm doing now that I'm adding a lot more comments to my script. And I've always been told to do that, and I've always been negligent. And I was like, nah, nobody else is going to care about looking at it. But at this point, because what I'm doing on all my sites and all my video, what are they called, playlists, I figure I better start doing it. Anyhow, sorting in NumPy is where we're going next. And if we finish up the next 15 pages through some pretty cool exercises, we're going to enter intermediate advanced, which is actually going to be looking into machine learning, which I think traditionally is statistics, but let's call it machine learning because that'll make more people interested in what I'm doing. All right, thanks very much for watching. Do a little quick save. Not that you need to see that. Forget it. File, save as, and thanks very much for watching.